good-ish at doing video. I was doing a lot of live streams and videos and whatnot, and I didn't realize I had one YouTube account with my Gmail, another one by Brenda Meller Marketing, and the other one with my Hotmail. And I have a couple videos in each of those channels. I don't want to like sunset entirely. So at any rate, we're going to get started here. Good morning and welcome. My name is Brenda Meller. I'm your host for our we do these weekly VIP office hours, and every week of the month is a slightly different topic. We're now in the third week of the month, and we're going to be talking about LinkedIn company pages today. This live stream is being pushed out on YouTube. I'm going to ask Julia, my intern, who's on the call, if she could go into chat and drop the YouTube link and also the the playlist. So if you want to watch the previous shows in the company page series, you can do that as well. This is our third month. We did August, September. We're now in October, and we started converting these to podcasts. So the August call is now on my podcast, which is called Enthusiastically Self-Employed. And timing wise, it worked out perfect. And I don't think we planned on this, but Julia helped me to get it up on Monday of this week. So we actually got a little bit of extra promotion for today's call. But these will be live streamed. You can watch the playback on YouTube. It'll also be on the podcast later. So if you've never been on a podcast, today's your chance, my friend. You can be on a podcast. You can be talking on the podcast today. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give everyone the opportunity to introduce themselves. And maybe take, 20 seconds, 20, 30 seconds or so here for that so we can get around the group. And then we'll also be using chat to introduce ourselves. And what we're going to do is we are going to go into chat and we're going to do a couple things. The first is I want you to drop your LinkedIn URL. And in that chat as well, when you introduce yourself with your LinkedIn URL, I want you to tell people the name of your business and what do you do? So that quick one-liner, that elevator pitch, I'm going to drop mine into chat right now as an illustration of that. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to share your company page URL. Whoop, YouTube's working. And to get to your company page URL, I want to just show you the steps for this real quick. So if you are an admin, which I'm guessing you are an admin for your company page, there's a couple places that you can navigate to. I think the easiest way to remember is just to go to your profile and then scroll down to your experience section and click on your company page logo. I think that's the easiest to remember. You can also get to your company page under the Me dropdown or from the home page. It's in the left navigation. But you're probably not going to remember that. You're going to remember your company logos on your profile. So that's why I'm telling you, go here. Now, to share your URL, I want to show you the steps so that we're not getting this weird 162.197. That doesn't mean anything. We want to get the pretty URL, the simplified URL. To get that to share inside chat, in the left navigation of your company page, I want you to click on View as Member. When you do so, you're going to see that the URL changes from that numeric designation to this pretty version. And you don't need to include the part that says !view as member equals true. It won't mess anything up if you grab the whole thing, but I like to get you in the habit of sharing what you're looking to share with folks here. So I'm going to drop that inside of chat as well. All right, so I'm going to call on each of you, give you the opportunity to introduce yourself, keeping in mind here that you never know where the future may lead. There might be someone on the call here who's going to be a perfect prospect for you or for your business, okay? If you wish to pass, just don't speak and I'll give it a once or twice and then we'll move on to the next person, okay? So it's optional if you'd like to do this, but as we're doing this, as you introduce yourself and your company on screen, I'm going to pull up your company page. So I'm going to start with Susan Moore, since I think Susan was the first name I saw drop into the meeting. Susan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Great. I'm Susan Moore. I'm a nurse that started my business 33 years ago, and we totally deal in specific accreditation for quality, and I also survey for that organization.
Wonderful. Do you have a company page yet, Susan, or not yet?
Yeah, I do. It's not pretty, but I do have one.
Okay, so when I see next, I'm just going to point this out, Susan, because there might be others on the call that can benefit from this as well. When I see at the top of your profile, it says Manage Healthcare Resources, Inc., and there's this gray building avatar next to it. That typically happens for two reasons. One is the company page hasn't been set up. The second is it's not linked to your profile. And I'm going to click on the logo just to test this out. If it does have a page, it should pop it to the page. But you can see here, it didn't pop it to the page, but it's showing me search results. So if I were you, Susan, what I would recommend is that you go inside your experience section and edit the company name and just delete it out and retype it in until you see the logo appearing in the drop down. That way that company page will be properly linked to your profile. Does that make sense?
Yeah, in my experience under my personal one.
Correct. So what you'll
Okay.
do, and let me just demonstrate this on, I'm going to do it from my view because I can't be in your profile to show you your view of it. But what you'll want to do is scroll down to your experience section. And again, this is the instructions for people who have a company page, but they're showing the gray avatar next to where their logo should be. So in your experience section, you're going to click on the gray pencil icon at the top. And then next to that employer where we see the gray logo, you're going to click on the pencil icon again. So we're like 2 menus deep at this point. And then in the company name field, let's just say mine was showing like this, Meller Marketing without the logo. What you'll want to do is just delete out a couple characters at the end. And then it should appear in the drop down, just like you're seeing for Meller Marketing in here right now. Then you'll select that from the drop down, click on save, and then the logo will now be next to your company and it'll also properly link to your profile.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right. All right, great. Thank you, Susan, and thank you for being on today. All right, next up in my menu is Mindy Stern. Hey, Mindy, how are you doing today? Would you like to introduce yourself? You are muted. I don't have my fun sign that says we can't hear you, Mindy. There you go. Take 2.
There you go. So sorry, I'm trying to get my information into the chat. That'll take a moment.
Oh, no problem.
So I am a career coach, and I love to help people accelerate their careers, whether they are job seekers or long-term professionals. Wherever you are in your career, that's where I want to help you get from A to Z. And so I have been using, yes, thank you, Brenda. I have my company page, which is, I guess, okay. I don't know. I'm always looking to learn more. I love to know how to use it better. I basically use it now to post my events because I host a monthly event for job seekers. So those are all within my company page. I'm not sure what else to do with it. So there's my events. But they're free events if anyone wants to join. Our next one is Sue Griffey is going to be speaking about excavating your evidence. And I love hosting those, and I love talking to people. And there you go. Thank you. And we have, I think, 46 attending so far. So that's what I do with my time. And thank you, Brenda, for the opportunity to look this over and let me know if there's anything that I can do to improve.
Thank you, Mindy. We'll certainly get to that today. Can you remind me, do you do resumes as a part of your offering? Mindy, do you do resumes as a part of your offering?
So here's the thing. I have been doing resumes very strongly since COVID started, but I am moving away from that a little bit. I want to do more of my leadership development because that's where I think my strongest superpower is in leadership development. And so I still do some. People who my existing clients I will do, but I'm not taking new clients on for resumes. I do have people that I can refer
to. Okay, good to know. And I have a handful of people. The reason I ask, and sometimes it's like, you know, we just talked to someone. I just talked to someone yesterday who reached out to me, a client, and said, can you send me some resume writers to look at? And I sent her 4 people, but you're on the call and I'm like, I forgot about Mindy. But I guess in my mind, I didn't forget about you because resumes aren't in my Rolodex for you, for your name. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. I'd rather focus on the leadership development. I can make more traction with people and helping them to improve their careers. And that's where I want to 2024 is going to be 100% leadership development.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on, Mindy. I'm going to pull Susan up next. And Susan, I'll give you the chance. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. Susan Davis, Kindsurf. And what I'm focusing on today is a new business that I've joined, MBV Associates. We are a contract business. We're a group of 4 professionals right now who have experience in all sorts of things business related, strategic planning, team building, quality management, leadership, process improvement, and healthcare improvement is the specialties of one of our folks. And I'm here today because we just launched this page last week, and I am one of the people who has ownership of it. And I've got some ideas of improving it because obviously it's kind of plain right now. So I just wanted to go over those ideas with everybody and get your feedback.
Wonderful. Great to have you on, Susan. Nice to see you again. All right. Next up, we have Dean. Dean, how do you say your last name? I want to say Artruk. Did I say it correctly or did I mess it up?
Well, it depends on whether you're north of the border or not. In Canada, it would be Artruk. But my father and my uncle in the service, when the drill sergeant would call his name, it was our truck, and guess what stuck?
Yeah.
So actually, I have a vanity plate on my truck that's spelled RTRUCK.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
But, thanks, Brenda. Hi, I'm Dean Artruck. I facilitate a local job search work team in the greater Hartford, Connecticut area. And I've actually.
Oh, you just went mute, Dean. You were speaking and then you just went mute. I'm not sure what happened. Try it again. I heard I'm actually, and then it went out.
I actually put the link to the job search work team in the chat.
Oh, okay. Is it a company page?
It is a company page.
Gotcha. Okay. I got it.
And so I'm here to follow the great Brenda and say congratulations, Mindy, on your pom-poms. And to learn how to better the page and better market the company.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad to have you here and hopefully you'll pick up some great tips today. Thank you, Dean. All right. Next up, Christopher Johnson. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So, Christopher Johnson, my company is Calm Clear Communications. And what I do is take away the stress and headache from virtual events, whether that is streaming or meetings or webinars. I take care of the tech so the speaker can take care of the message.
Wonderful. And I'm loving the evolution of your brand. Every time I see you on these calls, we see something a little different on your profile, a little different on your company page, even a bit different in your Zoom background. Did you hear me at the beginning talking about the AI summary feature inside Zoom? I'm sure you're probably more well-versed than I am.
I did not hear you talk about it, but yeah, it can be fun.
I'm finding, and I don't know if your experience is the same, Christopher, it's about 90 to 95% accurate. Sometimes it will say, Brenda said this to Christopher, and I'll read the transcript and I'll say, no, I didn't. I said, don't do that instead of do this. So, but I think it's nice to have it do the summary even as a starting point, as opposed to starting with a blank sheet of paper. Would you agree with that?
I would. 95% is enough of a memory jogger for most folk.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant.
Exactly.
Here's what I meant.
Yeah, that's good. Well, it's great to see you. So we'll keep us moving along here. Debbie, I don't see your last name, Debbie. I'll give you the opportunity if you'd like to unmute yourself and introduce yourself. I'll give you going once, going twice. And if you don't want to, that's okay. We'll move on. Michelle Summerfield. I see Michelle is on the call. You can be video on or video off, but if you'd like to introduce yourself, you'll need to unmute yourself. Michelle, would you like to say hi? Oh, there she is. Hey, Michelle.
Hi. Sorry, I turned my video off because I was having a little bit of a snack and I don't think everybody would want to watch me eat. So
I get it. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. So my brand or my business is Michelle Summerfield Creative. I'm a life coach as well as a financial well-being writer. And right now my brand is going through an evolution and a bit of a change. So that's part of the reason why I'm on the call is I'd like to find some ways to better optimize and market my page.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad to have you on. And as I'm pulling up these pages, I'm following them. I want to encourage you all in the audience as well to follow the pages. And I'm going to try to, maybe I could ask Julia to do this. If the URLs for their pages aren't already in chat, drop them into chat, because what we're going to do is we'll make that chat downloadable, but then we'll also use that chat to put the URLs in the YouTube page, as well as in the show notes once the podcast publishes. And that will help our viewers and listeners to find all of you later. All right, thank you so much. And let's see who else we have that I didn't call on. I had two Susans, I called on both of you. I think we have everyone. So now what we're gonna do is if you would like to ask any questions about your company page, I want you to use the raise hand feature to do so. So inside of Zoom, there's a menu bar at the bottom. If you don't see the one that says reactions, you'll have to click on the more button. And then underneath more, you'll see reactions, click on that. And then underneath reactions, you'll see raise hand. Susan already raised her hand. I'm raising mine right now. That way I know that you have a question that you'd like to ask. Alternatively, you can type your question inside of chat if you're having a hard time finding that reactions button, or if you just don't want to talk, you can just type it into chat and we'll take your questions. The other thing I'm going to have you do is look at your page on LinkedIn. Let me do this, Susan, before we go to you. I want you to see how many pending page invitation credits you have right now. I'm going to go to Meller Marketing as an example. And this is something I try to do every time I talk about company pages, anytime I'm in a discussion about company pages. So in your admin view of your company page, and I think you can see these from mobile or from desktop. So if you're watching this on your screen in full screen and you don't want to navigate a way to go to your company page, go to your company page on the mobile app. And I'm going to give you the same instructions on how to get there. It's a little bit different nowadays. So from the desktop view, to see how many page invitation credits you have, in the upper right-hand corner where it says grow your followers, you're going to see the number here, 236 out of 250. Now I try to almost zero those out every time. So I'm a little bit behind too right now, but what I want you to do is once you find that number, I want you to put into chat how many credits you have available. So I'm going to put 236 out of 250. I'm going to type that into chat. Now, if you're trying to find this number and you're looking at your page from the mobile phone, what you're going to do is at the top, I see Meller Marketing, and then it says Feed Analytics Activity. Click on Analytics. It's a little bit tucked away underneath in here. Underneath Analytics, you're going to go into the section that's called Follower Highlights, and then click on Show All. So again, analytics, follower highlights, and then scroll down in the follower highlights. And underneath, you're going to first see a bar graph, follower metrics, and then follower demographics. If you keep scrolling down, you'll see a box that says grow your followers. And if you click on invite connections, from there, yes, it does. From there, it'll say 236 out of 250 credits that are available. By the way, use this call to invite people to connect to your page. Like do some multitasking and grow your page followers. That's how I got to 8,287 by inviting people. Now, some did stumble upon my page. Some saw it when I posted about it on LinkedIn, but most people, I've just been using these credits every single month to draw more and more page followers. All right, with that said, we're going to go to Susan first, who had her hand raised for a question, followed by Mindy. So Susan, how can we help you out today?
Yeah, I don't know if this is something that.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's two Susans.
Oh.
We'll go you first, Susan Moore, and then we'll go Susan Davis Keen-Scharf next. Go ahead, Susan. Susan Moore.
Yeah, I don't know if this would relate directly to it, but as Amy Porterfield said, you don't want to rely on LinkedIn for your email connections. So because you never, to grow your email list. So what do you recommend as I'm working on a digital course and I want to drive more people and get their emails, and I have, a ton of almost 1,000 followers. How do you go about getting that into your email listing?
I'm cracking my fingers and stretching my arms out on this one. You ready for this, Susan? This is going to be exciting. And this is actually following Amy Porterfield's methodology. She's got a great program called List Building Society. Let me just drop the link inside of chat right now if you want to check out a little bit about a program. Give me just 1 second. That's my 404 error. Let me correct the spelling on the page here. By the way, you should get a fun 404 error page on your website if you don't have one. So I joined her List Building Society. We drop this link inside of chat so you guys can check it out. And I think she has some free offerings, and then I joined this as a paid program as well. But the premise of the program is growing your email list. Like, how do we grow our email list? And she encouraged us to create free downloadable resources or freebies or things like that. And on the inside, on our organization, we will call these lead magnets. So I refer to these to you as my free LinkedIn checklist, because lead magnet doesn't really mean anything to you. It means something to me. But me internally, I refer to these as lead magnets. So I've created a series of 6 different topics that you can go to my homepage. And I use this as a hook to try to get you into my email list. So let's say, for example, you wanted the company page checklist. And I will promote these periodically on social media. I say it's myself and Julia, my intern, that will do this. And each of these checklists has different areas of focus. So if you're looking to generate more leads through your company page, get more results on your LinkedIn company page, you can download the LinkedIn page checklist. Now, to get it, you have to give me your name and your email address. So honestly, Susan, I think about what could we offer to people of value to get them to subscribe to your email list. Simply saying, go to my website and join my email list is not going to get people to do it. I mean, on the whole, because I'll be honest with you, I don't want to join another email list. I don't know about you. I'm on too many already. But if you say, hey, give me your name and your email, and I will give you my free downloadable checklist. And by the way, I even have in here, hey, you're going to be added to my VIP email list. I hate spam. I promise to only send you fabulous tips and event reminders. You can unsubscribe at any time. So I'm letting you know right off the bat, you can opt out at any point in time. That's the way to get them in. And then to get them to remain in your list, you have to continue to provide value over time. And those are some of the things you'll learn as you go through Digital Course Academy. But in the starting point of getting people, if you're trying to generate business for your company, to get them into your email list, you have to give them something of value in order for them to give you their email address. Does that help, Susan?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, great question. All right, thank you, Susan. All right, moving along, we'll go to Susan Davis. Susan Davis Keenshurf, did I say it correctly?
Keinschurf, but if you were
Keinschurf, okay.
Germany, it would be Keinschurf. So you got
Okay,
that
there we
right.
go. How can we help you today, Susan?
So want to look at the MBV Associates page. If you look at right up there. So a couple ideas that I have. So when I say that this is brand new, I mean this is brand spanking new. It was just launched last Monday. And it might have been done in a hurry. Again, the founder, if you will, did this. So the things that I'm thinking are, we need to have a banner image, right? I think we can all agree on that. And then ideas that I have for content. And I wanted to see what the thoughts were on this. So there's 4 associates right now, 4 partners, if you will. Doing a bio on each of us would be good posts, success stories from each of us, like what have we faced in our individual professional careers? What was the problem? What's the success? Putting those on. And then I was wondering about a day of the week focus. I don't know if other people do that, but when I think about content for a LinkedIn page, I think about an editorial calendar, and each day of the week, you might do something different. And how many days a week should we be posting something? So those are, and those might be on your checklist, and I'm sorry if they are.
No, that's okay.
Listed,
yeah, I mean, some of these are addressed, but I used to have a company page masterclass that I went into great detail with all of these. It was a 12-week masterclass. I felt like it was a bit too much content, and 12 weeks was too long. So I'm reconfiguring my company page offering, my educational offering right now. And I might end up doing like a monthly membership. And part of what I'm considering is I have people that are coming in to learn from me about company pages at different phases. I have people that are leaving corporate, starting their business, that are just getting their page started, don't even have a logo yet. I have people like you who've started a page and it's somewhat filled out, but it's not really being maximized. And then there are other people like Mindy, whose page is fairly well established. She's got everything filled in, but am I doing everything I can be doing? And then I also have people that are company page admins or agency representatives that are heavy in marketing and heavy in social media, but don't have the depth of knowledge on LinkedIn. So I'm even thinking of, inside my monthly membership, you can come inside and you pay a monthly fee, and you get access to different lessons that will be in either of those 4 paths. So if you're just getting started, start here, because you need a logo and you need a website domain and you need some other things. So I'm going to pull you back just a little bit, because you were asking a lot of questions about content calendar and how many. I want to get you started. Like, here's some things I'm noticing right away on your company page. Is that okay with you, Susan? So first thing, you talked about your header image. you need to get that fixed like right away. I mean, that's almost the equivalent of going and doing a Google search and it's saying website. You know how you get those like website is currently in development. It's a cute little guy with a gear icon, like come back later. We're building something great. You want to get something in there because right now when I come to this page, there is no way I'm giving my money to you to work with you. I'll just be honest with you. You don't look like you're set up. Kind of like when you go to a store at the mall and they're still putting in the shelving units and the cash registers running. They're like, come on over and buy. And we're like, you're not even ready yet. You're not ready. So you want to make it look like your business is ready for business first and foremost. There's basics in the about section, describing your business, having a website address, phone number, getting all that stuff filled inside there, locations if you have them. When I go into posts, I'm going to give you 2 tips here. And one is addressing how often should we be posting. I'll be honest with you, with 84 followers, you should be posting, I would say the bare minimum would be once a month, probably more realistically once a week at this point. Because if you're posting 5 times a week and you've got 84 followers, it's kind of like that tree falls in a forest. There's nobody there to hear it. What I would do is keep focused on posting once a week. And I think some of the things you're talking about would be good, introducing each of the associates, each of the team members. Along that line, I see immediate opportunity for improvement here on your very first post. Whoever is an admin of the page can click on the 3 dots, and from your view, you'll see edit this post. You want to go in and tag Jim, tag yourself, tag George, tag Vic. If you're an admin, do this like right now. Second thing is each of you, there should at least be 4 likes on the page because there's 4 people who've been tagged. So each of you should be clicking on view as member and liking the post. Each of you should also be adding a comment to the page. And it doesn't matter what you say. I'm excited to be joining together with you, looking forward to working together, connect with me, or like whatever it is, each of you should be adding a thoughtful comment to the post as you, not as the page. The page should then be liking and replying back to each of you. Now, the outside world, Susan, does not know that the company is only the 4 of you. The outside world could be thinking that you're an agency and you've got a VA or an operations person or a social media person or whatever who's replying back to those people. So it doesn't matter if it's you replying back to yourself. As long as it's the page replying back to you, the outside world will see it as that. And that helps to jumpstart engagement inside there. Okay. With that said, so going back to a couple of the questions that you asked, creating a content calendar, is that a good idea in the long run? Absolutely. But if I were you, I would focus on getting the branding up on the page first. I would also maximize your page followers. So of the 250, you can invite all of those, or you can split them with the 4 of you. I'm not super good on math, so 83, 84, whatever it is per person, 83. I don't know. But each of you should be inviting and maximizing the 250 credits every month. As people are accepting them, you invite more because you want to try to get to 500 as quickly as you can. It doesn't say 500 plus followers on your page, but I have heard that that's when the magic can start to happen on your page. The more people that come to your page, the more people that will see your posts, which is part of the reason I want you to be posting weekly on here. Now you have the MBC Associates is proud to announce. If you didn't have that, I do have a blog post which says like use this for your first company page post. I'm going to ask Julia if she can find that. I think it's on my website, Julia, and drop that into chat. I also have a blog out for those of you who don't have a company page yet, how to create your LinkedIn company page. It's both a blog and a video, and there's some basics in there as well. I'm going to pause there, Susan, and just say, do you have any questions about anything I've shared with you? And you're muted right now. I can see your lips moving, but I cannot hear you. So imagining you're saying, yes, that was wonderful, Brenda.
It was wonderful. I don't have any questions. I did go ahead and if you refresh, I quickly tagged all the team members, and I will give out assignments to everybody for how to invite folks and all that. So thank you.
You're welcome. I think I also have a blog, Julia, on how to invite connections to follow your company page. It's either a blog or a YouTube video. Julia's a really good intern, so I just tell her, go find it, and she'll find it and drop it in. So we'll see that in a minute here. All right. Thank you, Susan. All right. We're going to move next to Mindy. I see your hand is raised. Hey, Mindy, how can we help you?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good.
So here's the thing. This is, I guess, about posting from the company page. When I post, for example, about an upcoming event from the company page, I get very, very low engagement. When I post the exact same thing from myself, it's great. When I get my normal engagement, which is, I don't know, around 1,000 or so that respond. So is there value in posting from the company page at all, or is that just a complete waste of my time? Should I just put the links in from my home, from me?
You know, I'll be honest with you, Mindy, LinkedIn is shifting the way that they are promoting events from company pages. And I don't know if you remember in the beginning part of the call, if you look back at the playback, you'll see it. But when I first came to your company page, I could see an events tab. Now I can't see it. It's down here. I know it exists on the page, but my understanding is they're starting to phase out the events tab on the company page. That's what I'm starting to see. Now, LinkedIn hasn't come out and said, yeah, it's going away, but they usually don't tell us. They usually roll it out in like 5 waves and start to retire features and things like that. Now, on the flip side, if you go to your personal profile on LinkedIn, and if you've ever posted an event from your personal profile on LinkedIn, in your activity section, you're going to see an events tab. I think we talked about this in a previous month. Does that sound familiar? So you tend to get more visibility posting from your personal profile than from your company page. What I like about company pages is it's very highly concentrated. When I come here and I click on posts, I'm not competing with a million other things that are from the homepage. I'm only seeing posts that are made by your company page. So if I were you, for now, you still have the events tab showing in here. I would probably post them in both places. Now, for your events, are they like LinkedIn Live, LinkedIn audio events? Are they Zoom? Like
Zoom.
where when I click on the event, does it take me someplace else to register?
No, you register right here, but the event is actually the event is on Zoom.
Okay, so did you even notice right now, like I'm on your page and I'm on posts, and keep in mind, this is what I do for a living, so I should know like where everything's at. I couldn't even find events. I had to know to go back to home because I just saw it there a minute ago, and then I could click on events. So if I'm having difficulty and I specialize in LinkedIn for a living, you can bet that your audience is going to have difficulty finding those events as well. So I would highly encourage you to either create a separate event from your personal profile, or you could do a repost with your thoughts and then type in some text and explanation and invite people into that event. Does that help you, Mindy?
So the last time we spoke about this, I did create a second event. Like I had to recreate it exactly. They won't let you like copy and paste it. So I had to recreate it on my regular profile. What happened was that it then was showing 2 events. So one event, same event, but 2 different sections. One had, I don't know, 50 registrations. The other one had 2. So it became very confusing as to where.
Well, let me ask you this. So right now, this event link takes me to Zoom. Should this take me to a registration page in Zoom or the actual Zoom link?
No, that is the actual Zoom link. You need to register first for this.
Where do I register? Do you have a Zoom registration page?
No.
Okay, so Christopher Johnson, can you please come to the front of the room? Are you still here? Christopher Johnson, can you unmute yourself? I know you're here. Here he comes. He's coming from behind the stage. He's dusting. He's getting his coffee. All right, Christopher Johnson, I'm putting you on the spot here, but do you want to tell us about the power and how Zoom registration pages work for events?
So Zoom registration pages are a wonderful thing that you should use because you can have them branded and you can collect all the information that you would want, such as your email registrations and everything of that nature. Now, there's not a direct tie-in to most email marketing or CRMs, but you can still download all your email registrations.
I don't know if this
What
is
else
the
would
right
you like
page
to
or
know?
not. Well, my understanding, Christopher, is you can. I don't think you can edit an event after you've created it to create an event registration page. You'd have to start it with it. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So I can't show you this right. Well, I don't know. Can I show her this while I'm inside of Zoom, or I don't know if I can. I'm
Absolutely.
already. So if I sign in from here into my account, will it let me? My account?
It
Do I just go to
should.
Zoom US?
Yep.
Okay. And then I do host. I don't want to do that. I don't even know where to go.
So
It's
you
been
should go
such a
to
long
your
time.
meetings, and there you should
Meetings?
see. Yep. If you
Okay,
have
so then
something
I
set up,
would, so let's say I wanted to create one, I would click on schedule a meeting. And isn't there a link underneath that enable the registration page?
there is. And you can customize that by asking particular questions. Hey, what is your name
There it
and
is.
email address?
So when you click on registration,
Okay.
Christopher, have you ever done a blog or a video about Zoom events and creating a Zoom registration page?
I have not. So now I have
Hmm.
Yeah.
post. Thanks.
I give you homework when you come on my calls. You should know that. Because this is your area of expertise. I'm like dabbling in it. But what I would do if I were you, Mindy, is so you said you had, going back to your question, you have two separate events. You've got one on your company page, you've got one on your personal profile, you got 50 or so people on both. On the LinkedIn event, as the admin, the creator of the event, you will have the message link next to each person. So if I were you, I would message each person, and you can copy and paste after you do this first time. But hi, Brenda, I see you've indicated you plan to attend my XYZ event on date and time. Wanted to make sure that you had the Zoom link. Here it is in case you didn't add it to your calendar. And then if there's anything else you want to tell them, let them know that as well. Let me know if you'd like me to add you to my email list, and I'll send you a reminder. If you can do that, like as a suggestion. In this case, you don't know if they've added it to the calendar, nor if they didn't register through a Zoom registration page, because there is no registration page. So the only way would be to indicate, which they do on LinkedIn. And if they did so and then immediately followed the steps from LinkedIn to add it to their calendar, it should be in their calendar.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, let's assume they didn't, because most people won't, and then message them, hey, Brenda, I see that you plan to indicate, or you indicated that you plan to attend my XYZ event on date at time. Here's the Zoom link in case you didn't add it to your calendar. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you'd like me to add you to my email list, and I'll send you a reminder the day of. Does that help, Mindy?
Are you suggesting using the Zoom registration link to send them, or the actual link to join?
Well, I'm saying you've already provided the link to join.
Yeah.
So this is the link to join. So let me go back to a Meller marketing, a Brenda Meller event, and I'll demonstrate this from my view. So when I click on event, let me try to find an upcoming event in here. And it'll be just a second. Right now, what I'm doing for those that are listening on the podcast is I'm navigating on my profile, and I'm on Wi-Fi at a hotel because I'm at a conference facility. And that means it's a little bit slower than normal right now. So let me just go on this event right here. This is an event coming up in December. So as the admin of the event, I can see next to each person's name the people who have indicated they plan to attend.
Right.
Now, for whatever reason, Anja is not showing that message. She may have disabled it. I'm not really sure what's happening there, but Renee does have a message link next to her name. So what I would do is click on message, and I would say, hi, Renee. I see you indicated you plan to attend my ABC event on December 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Here's the Zoom link to join in case you didn't add to your calendar. And then after that, I would say, message me back if you'd like me to add you to my email list to send you a reminder. So that's what I'm saying, Mindy. It's like type that whole thing out, and then before you send that, copy it.
Sure.
I'm not going to send this to her because I just did a prep of it. And then message the next person.
Gotcha.
Hi, Anja, paste. Hi, Brenda, paste. Hi, Christopher, paste.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, if we had the Zoom registration, we can cut out the middleman, which is you messaging people, and inside of Zoom, you could have the ability to message them about the upcoming event.
Oh, okay. I'll have to try
Okay.
that with the next one. I'm gonna try and see how I can make that work.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna
Okay.
try it.
All right, great. Well, thank you for asking the question. Okay, so I do not see any other hands that are raised right now. I'm going to give a last call for questions. And if we don't see any, we might end this call just a few minutes early here today. Don't be shy if you do have any questions about LinkedIn, your company page, do let me know. While I'm waiting to see if any hands are being raised or any questions are coming in, I'm going to remind you that these Friday VIP office hours are something that we do every Friday. And I used to do job seeker calls, and every week I was for job seekers, and I decided to change the mix of my events because job seekers are certainly one audience that I help, but I also serve people who are self-employed as well as companies of organizations. So now every week we have a slightly different topic. The first Friday of the month is for job seekers. By the way, all of these calls are from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern on Zoom, also broadcast out to YouTube where you can watch the playbacks. The second Friday, which was last week, we did office hours for coaches, consultants, speakers, and authors. Today is our LinkedIn company pages focus. Next week, the fourth Friday of the month, will be VIP office hours for social media managers and marketers. So more of a broad subset there. And then I did add in a fifth Friday. Some months have 5 Fridays, some months don't. And this was intentional to create a fifth Friday in the months that you have a Friday on the fifth Friday of the month, or a fifth Friday, and some months don't have them. So the only remaining month in 2023 that we'll be having this call will be in December. So this will be on December 29th. But what we're going to do, I'm going to call this Tech Check and Tech Tips. I often will get people asking me questions like, what microphone are you using? How do you use that technology? What are you using for video? What tips do you have for me on Zoom and other things? And we may even like use some things with apps and different things in there as well. So what I've done is I've emailed a short list of individuals who are VIP experts in technology, people like Christopher Johnson, Robbie Samuels, Vicki O'Neill, and I'm blanking on the others right now, but I've emailed them and I said, hey, this is going to happen. If you want to join me, completely optional, but I'd love to have you out. Here's the list of dates. And we have December, and I think the next month after that is March. And then I'm not sure what the other dates are in 2024. Julia is helping me to create a registration page, and that will be coming up. But what we'll do is technology check. So when I say tech check, sometimes in my calls, we do like a Zoom check. We'll have everyone turn their camera on. We'll look at lighting. We'll talk about looking at the camera. We'll talk about audio, things like that. And other months, we might have a technology specialist who will be joining us on. And we'll do a Q&A with them. So we'll announce in advance when I know I have those experts coming in, but I'm pretty excited about that. Another offering that we'll be doing inside there. All right, my friends, I think if that's it, we're going to go ahead and wrap this early. I'm at the National Entrepreneurs Association conference. We're at the Hollywood Greektown Casino in Detroit, which, by the way, the casinos are striking right now. I'm not a big casino goer, so I kind of knew, but I kind of forgot about it. And driving in today, I had to cross through the picket line to get into the parking garage. I'm only here for the event, but I'm a speaker. I can't not show up for the event. So I'm going to head back into the main room where there'll be speakers in here. And I do want to remind you that before we leave today, if you would like, you can download the chat. Go to the bottom where it says to everyone in your chat, and you should see a menu of icons at the bottom. 3 dots. If you click on those 3 little dots where it says more, you'll get the option to save chat, and it will save the chat to your download folder. You can also download a copy of the transcription if you'd like. If you go into the captions menu, I think there's a link that says view full transcript. And if you click on save transcript, it'll save that in your folder. And then we also have inside the chat, the YouTube link if you want to watch the playback of this again. I know I talk fast, and sometimes I cover tips and you're like, what did she just do? You can watch the playback all over again. I think there's even a way inside YouTube that you can slow down the video. Am I correct on that? Christopher Johnson, I feel like you would know the answer to that. He's nodding his head yes. Is that right? Can you slow down the video?
You can adjust playback speed. So you could make Brenda, even faster.
Oh my goodness. Or more realistically, slower. I get it. I'm sorry. I don't apologize for it. I'm at one pace. It's pretty fast unless I can pull myself down a little bit in there. So on behalf of all of us, I want to thank you. My name is Brenda Meller. I help job seekers, solopreneurs, and business professionals get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. I've enjoyed having all of you on today for our company pages discussion. I hope to see you next month and be on the lookout for the podcast of this. We'll try to get this out. It'll probably be like about 2 months out when we have this one coming up. But in the meantime, if you go to Enthusiastically Self-Employed on your favorite podcast, you can look at some of those other shows as well. With that said, have a wonderful afternoon, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now, and I'll end the Zoom. And I wish you a wonderful weekend. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Have a good one.